If I've learned anything in the zombie apocalypse, it's that you must stab higher. Up here. Up here, not down here. So, The Walking Dead Episode 8, Coda. Now, caution, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen this episode, then what are you doing here? Get out! And then go watch it and come back here and let's talk about it. So, that one was a bit tough. That kind of an episode just really kind of punches you in the gut. And it had some really, really tough moments. But at the same time, there were some great emotional scenes, some great performances. But before we get into all that, let's go back to the beginning of the episode when things were happy and people were being run down by motor vehicles. The good stuff. So Rick starts off the episode, he's chasing down Bob, and the bad Bob, evil Bob, cop Bob. But he chases him down, tells him to stop, he doesn't stop, and so he, of course, hits him with a car. Because, why wouldn't you? But I love the exchange that the two of them have. Bob's bleeding out on the pavement. I knew the moment that he said he thought he broke his back that he was done. I mean, you don't really come back from that, right? So, zombie apocalypse, broken back, dead. But I love the exchange between those two because, if we were to run into Rick's group by itself at this point, they're a rather intimidating bunch, especially Rick. We've seen him this entire time, so we're used to him, and we're like, oh, but it's Rick, it's good old Rick Grimes, but he is a much more foreboding individual. And it's understandable that Bob would be apprehensive about them, being captured. At the same time, Rick has no patience, and certainly there are no second chances with him. And so it kind of spells the end of Bob number 2. So after that, now they have a problem because they're short one cop. Do they go ahead with a trade plan or do they fall back to Rick's initial plan? Which, of course, in hindsight after the episode, seems like maybe that would have been the right call after all. But it's interesting that you've got Tyrese and Daryl now kind of pulling Rick back from his edge and trying to maintain a bit of their humanity. It's not the safe play, but it's the play that gets the least amount of people killed. But as we've seen time and time again, other people get involved and it gets nasty. So then you have the tense exchange scene and everything goes well at first. The two people go to either side and everything seems fine until Dawn decides to make her power play. And she demands that Noah be part of the exchange. And she's made a lot of excuses up to this point about needing to, earn the respect of her officers. But in this scene, it seems to be so much more about her own need for power. She comes off as very cold and calculating, as if she's determined to get her way. And again, proving to Beth that she was right about how things work in the hospital after all. So Beth sees how this is going down and she decides she's going to put a stop to it once and for all. She confronts Dawn and basically confirms to her that she sees what's going on. And then she, of course, stabs Dawn and then Beth meets her end. Just really, really tough. And even watching Daryl swoop in and take Dawn out just was not even really satisfying because you're losing such a great character. The scenes after that were just as difficult. Daryl carrying Beth out and then her sister seeing her. I mean, oh gosh, just rip my guts out, just throw them on the floor. I mean, it was a really difficult scene, but some great acting, some great moments for these characters. I have to say that I really enjoyed Beth as a character, and her arc I thought was really great. She really became a complete person from beginning to end, and a really strong individual, and in her final moments, able to stand up for a whole bunch of people in the hospital by basically trying to fix the situation by taking Dawn out, probably knowing that it was going to end her life. But she was a great character. She will certainly be missed. But what did you think of this episode? Leave a comment below and let's talk about it. You can always click here and subscribe. And I'm going to end this video in, I believe, a fitting send-off, I hope. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all.